What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Keto Rewind. I am Jess. Today is a week 3 video of the Keto Rewind FLAB Fighter Challenge, or for those of you that are just joining, I'm doing a monthly weight loss channel. You can use it as inspiration for weight loss, you can use it for motivation, you can follow along exactly how I'm doing it by using the weekly meal plans that I'm providing, or you can use that as a stepping stone and put your own personal touches and customize what I'm doing for you. But either way, if you want to see the free meal plan of a high protein keto, low carb, use the link down below, ketorewind.com. Go to my website and download the weekly meal plans, the shopping list, and see all the videos. Everything's right there. So anyways, I hope you're enjoying the FLAB Fighter Challenge so far. I know I have, and I've been learning a lot about just doing this again. And I will say real quick, I have been losing weight for 4 years on this channel, and I can honestly say you can never know too much. Feel like I learned even more, and even though I've been doing this for 4 years. So we'll talk about that in a little bit. And also keep in mind, I'm actually in week 4 because I'm recording a week ahead of you guys. So I've already done my week 3. That was last week. But we're going to talk about week 3 because that's what is out for this whole week. So with all that said, let's hop into today's video. Okay, so first things first, the most obvious is I am feeling so proud and so inspired and so motivated. I have got 3 full weeks of like hardcore focus, and it feels like a new person this week. Like I'm starting my week 4, and being that I've been so focused for 3 solid weeks in a row, including weekends, which was probably my biggest hurdle, my biggest obstacle, my biggest downfall of my journey has been weekends. So I will say though, when you want something, nothing can get in the way of getting that done. And what I mean by that is when you make yourself a priority, and you truly make yourself that priority, it doesn't matter what your schedule looks like, every single thing will work if you want it bad enough. So it's either if you want something bad enough, you will fight through all those excuses and obstacles. If you want it but don't want to put the work in, those are just excuses, and you can't blame the lifestyle or anything but yourself for not wanting it enough for you. So with that, on that point is I've had like the absolute most busy schedule starting in March. You know, my kids had spring break this month, and I was like, oh, I've got to film daily videos during spring break, which was my week 1 for you guys on the channel. So I had to find a way to entertain my children and get all this filming done and have some sort of like breath at the end of the day and not wear myself out, right? But you know what, when you want something bad enough, you will find a way. You won't find the excuse. So I put that work in, and I found a way to get through the whole week without my kids even knowing I'm doing anything, you know, crazy. They just see mom filming food and like whatever. But I mean, like, I put that work in while I should have been so busy with my kids because they were home. So, but I found a way, and we all had a great spring break. So, you know, that now spring sports have started, my kids are both playing volleyball and softball, with my oldest child doing competitive version. So there's 4 sports between 2 kids. The demands of schedules of practice, and you know, then because some of the positions my kids play, my oldest is a pitcher and a catcher. There's even more reps on top of what the schedule, you know, of practices, because when you're in those positions, you got to put even more work in. So it's like the absolute demand on mom right now is at an all-time high. So when games and everything kicked off this past weekend, and it's like, oh my gosh, how am I going to get it all done, you know? And these are the times where I failed in the past because I'm like, well, I'm so busy, we'll go eat out. Nope, I packed lunches. This girl found a way to make everything fit so that I couldn't just use the excuse of being busy to go eat out, because I would do great Monday through Friday. Weekends would come and things would be chaotic, and I would take the easy way out and go try and find something that's keto or low carb, which ended up, you know, just derailing my progress of the whole prior week, you know, like Monday through Friday. So I want this bad enough for me that I was like, nope, not doing that, not today. I will find a way. If that means either packing my lunch, my kids' lunch, everything, you know, fasting, all of that, I will find a way to get it done, because there's nothing that's going to derail my progress right now. I don't want that for me. I want to continue building that momentum, getting the journey going again, and building off of the new healthier me. Because the old version of Jess slacked off on the weekends and didn't care. That's not helping the new healthy me. You know what I mean? So it's like that, not that I was bad or, you know, did anything horrible, but I'm just saying, like, I want the new healthy me to make the effort, because I will never get to my goal weight and maintain it if I don't change my ways. You know, I can't be that and not put the work in, you know, and not change it. Like that is how I regained 60 pounds, by not caring on the weekends, by just letting up in certain areas that were easy to let up on, instead of just tighten the hatch and find a way, you know. So those little bits added up into 60 pounds over a course of a year and a half. You know, so, and that's what I don't want, because that's not the new healthy me. So it's like, so what I'm trying to get with all that is, if you want to change and you want to live a different life, you have to be different. You can't live that old life and expect the results to just bring you right to the finish line. You know, like you didn't learn anything and nothing changed, and you'll just regain the weight and rebound. And that's what I had been doing for the entire year of 2021 and 22, that I was in that cycle of just, I'd gain 5 pounds, I'd lose 5 pounds, gain 5 pounds, lose, you know, and eventually I started gaining more than I was losing, and back to 60 pounds. So it's only now that it's more obvious to me, because it's these little moments on the weekends and stuff that I knew were a problem in the past, but didn't want to change it. You know, so you can wish and hope and pray all you want, but you have to still do it. Like, there's a difference. So it's that missing puzzle piece. You've got to make that extra effort to change your ways. So on top of that note, I'm the most busy I've been in a long time. I still managed to read a book, one whole book and a half of another, in the same week that I apparently had no time. Well, you know what? I found time because it was important to me. So in addition to staying on track, getting workouts done, you know, keep filming all of these videos, writing up shopping lists, going and doing it, and, you know, managing a super stressful life right now, I still had time to read a book. So there was time. So with that said, let's talk about week 3. So I should say my week 3. You guys are starting week 3. I adjusted my calories from 1774 down to around 1600, you know, 1550, 1600, because being a habitual yo-yoer in the past, I've wrecked my metabolism. So, you know, because in the past I dropped them so low, and then then I would go really high, and like I wrecked my metabolism with the yo-yoing. And as a consequence of being a habitual yo-yoer, your metabolism is slower. And what should be working was not working, so I had to make an extra tweak. Eventually, someday, I'll get those macros back up to where they should be with a consistent new healthy me. But until I get rid of and make that yo-yoing a thing of the past, I can't expect my metabolism to repair itself. You know, I've got to put the work in and show it. And, you know, and adding to that down the line, when I'm at my goal weight, I will start a reverse diet and that kind of thing. But I'm saying right now, while things are very volatile in my metabolism, I had to cut a little bit more and just do some fine tuning, and that seemed to get the ball rolling. So yes, I lost a lot more weight this week than I did last week, but just that little tweak of, you know, knocking 100 calories off, which adjusted my macros, really did change things. So with that said, I thought I would make one more change just for time management this week. I am moving for my week 4 to 2 meals a day, 2 larger meals, and that's just because time for my schedule this week. So instead of the macros are going to be exactly the same. Instead of in 3 meals that it's been in, the final week of this challenge will just be 2 meals per day. So, which is a little bit easier for me to manage with the stuff going on. And yeah, so that'll be you'll see that next week. Oh, and then one more thing I want to talk about. So one of the most important things that I'm noticing after the 3 weeks here of religiously logging all of my macros and trying my best to hit those goals and stay away from packaged stuff, whether it be keto, not keto, you know, anything packaged. I've done my best to reduce the amount that I've been having. You can't eliminate all the processing, you know, there's life, I'm saying, but I'm in general cutting out so much of those extras and really thinking about what I'm doing has made this feeling of just like I'm relaxed. I don't have the constant thoughts of hunger. I'm satiated. I'm not eating a ton of sweet things. I've cut out all desserts. Keto, regular, no desserts. So just I cut out the afternoon coffee that I used to do. I just have my black coffee in the morning. You know, I've really cut out a lot of stuff and have just been enjoying those things. And by having the least amount of sweets on my tongue, on my brain, in my mind, I should say, I have not been craving sweet stuff. You know, and I know that when I see something that looks delicious, that is, even if it's keto, I know that eating that thing will make me want more because it's sweet. And the more I take that step back and stay away from the sweets, keto, low carb, I'm talking all of it. The more I take that step back and replace the sweets in my life with some veggies in my omelet, oh my gosh, I feel like a different person and I'm craving less. So naturally my period came, I'm in the middle of my cycle right now, and I normally have raging sweet tooth when it comes to my monthly cycle. And this week, I mean, I'm day 3 in, it's like, it's just another day. Like, I don't want more sweets. Nothing's new just because I have my period. Like, I don't deserve chocolate just because I have my period. Like, it's not the thought that's popping in my head. So it's like, whoa. So the more I avoid or stay away from it, that noise that I always try to calm down in my head when it comes to sweet, 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 eat, you know, it's just quiet. And it's just like a whisper at this point. So, and that means it makes a huge difference when it comes to when I'm hungry, what do I reach for? You know, but by increasing my protein, I'm more satiated. I'm getting a lot of protein in. I'm working out. So I'm working with my anxiety. I'm watching visually what I'm putting in, and it's inspiring me to want more of the new me that I'm creating. And the urge to cheat or have a treat or, you know, go do something that's not on my plan has really just quieted down. You know, so like we had several opportunities this weekend where our friends after the games, the softball games or volleyball games, are like, let's go out to lunch, let's go this, and I'm just like, no, I'm good. We'll see. You know, I got stuff to do, and just politely declined and went home and made lunch or went home and made dinner. And by just saying no, because I wanted more for me, I knew that this would be something that just gets that journey going, and I get that look in my eye again where I'm unstoppable. So with all that said, we're kicking off week 3. I've rambled a lot, but it's just so important to really make the change and put the effort in, and you're gonna feel like a whole nother person. So, and that's where I'm at right now. And I'm not saying the person I was bad. I just didn't like her habits. I didn't like her choices. She didn't love herself enough to make these changes. And it's easy to make that change and to come over to this side, but you have to put that work in. And that really does change the way you go from this point forward. And that also determines whether you're gonna see that goal weight or not. And be able to keep that weight off once you get on. Like, oh my God, I'm so tired of having to lose weight. You're like, I don't wanna lose weight forever. I wanna just get to my goal weight and maintain that. And that's something that that's foreign to me, you know? So I want that for me though. I want that challenge. I want that burden off of my shoulders. But it starts today, and it starts with each day I have making those choices and wanting it for myself. Okay, so let's make breakfast. I'm gonna saute some onions and peppers, 1 serving for each me and Kyle, and then I also diced up my Canadian bacon and sauteed that all together, and then threw some eggs on top. So I just made my omelet a little different while making a giant mess in my kitchen. And then I'm gonna put half that onion and pepper mixture up in my omelet, the other half for Kyle. Put an ounce of American cheese in there, and then I'm just gonna fold it up and have a nice delicious 3-egg omelet with cheese, peppers, and onions. And that is my delicious omelet, my favorite way to have it. And then I'm gonna have on the side some Greek yogurt. I'm gonna measure out 3/4 of a cup or 170 grams. For today's, because of macros, I'm using fat-free, but 170 grams is what I'm aiming for, and I'm using this granola. This is by Carbonate, and it is gluten-free. It's got no yucky ingredients, 3 net carbs, but make sure you measure. Already it is dinner time and a very hectic evening. I actually thought a bunch of times how I was gonna squeeze in dinner with all the activities we have this evening. So my oldest daughter has a catching and pitching lesson. Then my youngest daughter has a volleyball practice. So in the middle of all of that and trying to get my kids, it's a school night, at bed at a reasonable time, had to be creative in what dinner was gonna be tonight. So let me flip the camera around. While I was shopping, I found this General chicken. It's by Real Good. The macros on it were not bad at all. And in days like this where I need to do something semi-homemade, we're gonna give it a try. So I've not tried this yet, but I have a keto version of General. I will link it down below if you wanna make this from the beginning to the end instead of using something packaged. But the macros and overall, everything it was okay. It passes my test. No wonky ingredients. It's gluten-free. So whether it tastes good or not, that will be up for me to decide in a little bit. So I'll let you know. But I'm just going to cook that up, cook some vegetables to go with it, and be out the door in time for practice. So I'll show you how I did it. I just took a plain baking sheet with some parchment paper, sprayed it with avocado oil, and laid it on the sheet. So this bag has 4 servings in it. So Kyle and I are gonna split this bag, and the kids will have something else because I'm not sure if they'll even eat this. So anyways, but looking at the macros wise, that gives me about what I need for dinner anyways. So, and then just adding some vegetables with it, and we're good to go. This is 1 serving of cauliflower, so I'm gonna give 1 to Kyle. And I just want to show how small of a serving that is. It's like just a little powder. But that's how fast everything adds up. So I'm gonna do this times 2, and I'll be back in a second. And then next, I'm gonna measure out a serving each of this stir-fry blend. Basically it's peppers, onions, mushrooms, broccoli, and I think that's a carrot in there. So, but anyways, we'll measure that out. So each serving is 93 grams. So I just pour out 93 grams. Wow, I'm just like 3 over. Okay, so that is 2 servings. And look how small. When it cooks down and all the water cooks out of it, it's gonna be so tiny. So it just goes to show you how fast it adds up. Okay, so now I'm just going to turn it on and let it steam, and then I'm going to put a little butter in here and just salt and pepper because I don't want to do too much seasoning because there's a sauce that comes with the chicken. And I'm gonna do 2 tablespoons. There's 2 of us. This is gonna be 2. This is 2 servings, so a tablespoon for each of us. Oop, get the rest of that out of there. Now I'll put the cover on it and let it just thaw. Okay, so at this point, I'm just gonna season up with a little salt, a little onion powder, garlic powder, and black pepper. And the chicken's just about done, so next, give this a stir and we're ready to rock and roll. Okay, so the chicken is out of the oven. It looks pretty good. Let me change the camera angle here. And then it says to take the pouch of sauce and pour it all over the chicken, and then put it in the oven just to bring it all together for another 2 minutes. So, do that. Stir it around just a little bit. Looks pretty good. Hopefully it tastes good. All right. We'll put it back in the oven for another 2 minutes or so, and then it will be time to plate it. Alrighty. Now, I'm gonna just put the chicken pieces right in the plate here. And then we'll do a taste test. And there is the finished product. Does that not look really delicious or what? And it literally took me 20 minutes to make this. And I can be out the door and off to the kids' sporting activities. And it was so tasty and delicious, I would totally buy this again. So anyways, you didn't think I'd let you go by without discussing macros now, would you? So I have updated my goals. I'm still aiming for the same amount of macro goals, but my calories went down. So it basically came from carbs and fat. I did not touch my protein. So protein, I'm really good. It's I'm hitting what I need to get. I was a little low in fat. I am aiming for 16-15 calories per day. I was a little lower, about 141 less. I'm okay with that. I felt fine. If I was hungry, I would know I had some left over. But it was good, and I just listened to my body in this one. I was only slightly over on carbs, so 7 net carbs over. But let's just go through what we had for breakfast. So I had a big breakfast. It was hard to get it all in. I did a half tablespoon of butter, and I cooked up my onions and peppers in the saute pan, and then I made a 3-egg omelet plus 1 whole egg and added an ounce of American cheese in there, and then I had Greek yogurt with some carbonate, granola. So remember, always measure out that granola. There's where your calories are going to come from. And then in my omelet, I did my 3 slices of bacon instead of having it on the side. So lunch was, this is where a little bit of processing came in. I had pre-made Jenny O turkey burger patties. I was in a rush. It was a Monday. So I had used up all my homemade ones, but it doesn't really matter. So I just did those 2 frozen turkey burgers on the grill with yellow mustard and dill relish. So on to dinner. I had the 2 servings of the General chicken. The macros were pretty good. I can't complain about that. I was pretty impressed. I had the 1 serving of cauliflower rice, and I had the 1 serving of the stir fry blend, and then I sauteed that in butter. So remember when I did it on the recipe, this was combined for me and Kyle. So, but this is just my portion, and that was it. So it was a fairly easy lunch, dinner, and breakfast, and I felt so good, and I got it done. So yay! Alrighty folks, I hope you enjoyed this video. I will see you tomorrow at day 2. I'm Jess, you're watching Keto Rewind. Bye-bye!